Hello, this is Essie, the rich woman. um, I didn't share with you guys. I often think about this though. After everything that's going on, which these judgments are going to come down on America hard, and things will never be the same. We're never going back before the corona. Life is never going to go back before that. Before 2020, life is never going to go back before that. So um, I had this, I can't call it, I don't know, it happened while I was asleep. Some things can be given to me, and it doesn't have to actually see a dream where you're actually seeing things happen. But sometimes I can hear voices, and it just be black. So nothing visual that I can see, but just I can hear a voice talking. And sometimes I can just be enlightened and while I'm asleep in a dream, and there's no picture to be seen. So I believe I had this the beginning of 2024 or the end of 2023. I can't remember, but I remember that these holidays came to me. These series of holidays, they were either called out or they just came to me. But anyway, as these holidays were coming to me, it stopped. So I got like Thanksgiving and Christmas of 2024. Those holidays came to me. The holidays in the beginning of like 2025 came to me. But when it got to Halloween of 2025, it stopped. There were no more. It's like the holidays end at Halloween of 2025. And I woke up. I remember waking up, and I remember saying to Yahweh, is this going to be America's last holiday? Halloween of 2025? And I got no answer. But I often think about it, what is going to happen right after Halloween of 2025? That America will not see any more holidays or celebrate no more holidays. And for America not to celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas of 2025, it got to be something really big and huge to make America not celebrate those holidays. So, I can't say like 100% that America is not going to celebrate Christmas in 2025, Thanksgiving and Christmas. But all I know is those holidays came to me and it stopped at Halloween of 2025. So everything else is just me thinking, Me thinking, would this be the last holiday? What is going to happen? To make, it has to be, if Halloween would be the last holiday next year, it would have to be something really huge, big, to make America not celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas of 2025. Or maybe no more. Or maybe no more holidays. All I know is when you're going through something, when you're going through something, like take myself for example, when you have a place to live, when you have money, when you have those things, you focus on things that are really not important, you know. Especially if you've never been through any real suffering and struggling in life. You focus on things that are not important, like celebrities. You know, you might be on YouTube fighting and arguing with somebody. Maybe somebody said something about a celebrity that you really like, and so you on YouTube arguing with them in the comment section and stuff like that. And but when you don't know where your next meal gonna come from, when you homeless, when you going through so much struggle, and maybe you lost someone that's very close to you, or maybe more than one person that's very close to you, all those things go on the back burner. Like, nobody got time to be, the thought that came into my head is nobody got time to be worshiping a celebrity. That's what came up in my thought. No one had time to be worshiping a celebrity. I wouldn't even chose those words, but the Holy Spirit chose those words. That worship popped up in my head before I even got to the time to say, to the point to say that. So I know that's what the Holy Spirit want me to say. No one is going to have time to worship celebrities when you don't know where your next meal going to come from, when you might be homeless, when you might be displaced, when, you know, your house or home might be flooded out, earthquaked out, whatever, fired out, and you destitute. Maybe you done lost family members. Ain't nobody gonna have time to be worshiping no celebrities when that happened. I know I always had my number one celebrity was 50 Cent. 50 Cent, I thought he was just so handsome. And it was some things I liked about him. Like, he seems to be a loyal person. Like, I don't like backstabbers. I never know him to seem like, he doesn't appear to me as a backstabber. You loyal to him, seem like he'll be loyal to you. And if you ain't right, like, he never had any, he never like really dealt with Diddy. he saw Diddy for who he was. He never dealt with Diddy. He never really dealt with Jay-Z, you know. And so it was things about him that I liked, and that was my celebrity. That was the one that, you know, I was crazy about. But when I became homeless, I remember when I first became homeless, not knowing where my next meal gonna come from, not knowing when I'll be able to take a shower and all this stuff. And I remember going into Vons, and on my way out, there was a magazine rack, and it had, you know, magazines, and 50 Cent was on the cover of a magazine. And I remember the picture of him because his shirt was like open right here, and I believe that was the famous picture. But I don't know if he was on any other magazines, but that one I remember because the shirt was open. He was dressed different. He was not dressed like a gangster. And I remember picking up that magazine and looking at him for the last time. And I said, and I put it, once I looked at him, I put the magazine down, and I said, I don't have time for this anymore. I don't have time for this anymore. I don't have time for celebrities anymore. I don't know where my next meal gonna come from. I don't know when I'm gonna take a shower, when I'm able to wash my clothes. I don't have time for this. And I didn't focus on 50 Cent for years. I didn't think about him. I didn't, you know. I be watching his videos sometimes. Now he had interviews and stuff, and I watch them. Sometimes if I see him come up, I know he bought a studio, and it seemed like to me he's helping black people with acting jobs and stuff like that, which is good. But I never focused on him like I used to, and I try not to focus on him too much because I don't want to offend Yahshua first and foremost. But I do see some of the things he's doing, which I think that is big of him. Some black people, like he did with Monique, when nobody wanted to hire her, when she'd been blackballed, he hired her, and then he said he would hire Taraji P. Henson because when she spoke out, you know what happened with her. So that's what I like about him. But I try not to like look at him like the way I used to, and look at him like celebrities, like to worship him. I feel like this: no one is more powerful than Yahshua. No one is more badder than Yahshua. When you know what I'm talking about when I say bad. Everyone is just every man is just a man. That's all he is. He's just a man. But Yahshua, he's more than a man. And no one has more power than him. He sits up high. He is, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a lot of people put mere people before Yahshua. Mere people that don't have no control over them living and dying. The way I see people have put Trump, a lot of people think about Trump more than they think about Yahshua. They pray for Trump. They don't think about Yahshua. And that has to offend him. It has to. So, yeah, I just wanted to tell you guys about that dream I had. I'm kind of scared to see. I'm nervous. Will Halloween be Halloween of next year, 2025? Will it be our last holiday? Because if it is, then something very traumatic is going to happen, where people are going to be going through so much where they're not going to be focusing. You're not going to have, when you being traumatized, when you ain't focused on no holidays, just like you ain't worshiping no celebrities. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got time for no holidays. Maybe you can't even buy gifts. You know. So anyway, I just want to tell you guys about that, because I think about it from time to time. I think about it, and yeah, I have a lot of thoughts now that I know it's the end times, and I'm seeing the prophecies being fulfilled from the Master's Voice prophecy blog. I'm seeing it being fulfilled. I watched one, Yahweh is not only talking to Celestial. He talks to me too. He shows me dreams too. He shows other people dreams too. And he talks to them too. I believe Celestial is at the top when it comes to Yahweh revealing things and talking to her. I believe he's revealing more to her and talking to her more than he's talking to anybody else. And so she's at the top when it comes to prophet, and the rest of us is lower prophets, or whatever you want to call them. I don't know, but we're lower, and we're not getting as much information as she's getting. but we get information. And so I was listening to one woman, and she was saying that the 3 days of darkness will be next year. And I was asking Yahweh, like, when should I start preparing for this? Because you're supposed to stay indoors for 3 days. You're not supposed to come outside. They also said that the darkness will be alive. It will be alive. There will also be creatures. Now, there's a lot of creatures in the woods. There is a portal in the woods. And they're coming through the portal. And I believe also the U.S. government may be making them too, because some people have went into underground areas that is government controlled, and they have seen things that they were not supposed to see, and they have seen creatures. Also, our military is working with creatures. I believe it's the werewolf creature that they're working with. He is in the military with them. I remember watching one video where this man, he was watching a military aircraft coming down. I think he said it didn't land, but it hovered over the ground, and that military man jumped out. He said that he saw what looked to be like a wolf dog or a werewolf or whatever wolf man jumped out and turned around to help a soldier out. Now, this is not my first time hearing about this, about the military having creatures in the military and doing things that the military men cannot do. And so he talked about this creature and how it looked, and the man asked him, did he have a tail? And he said no, it did not have a tail. So I learned that there is a dog man, and that the dog man has a tail. And then there's also a creature that looks like a wolf man or werewolf, and this one do not have a tail. And the wolf man or werewolf is larger than the dog man. But this is what the military is using, the wolf man or werewolf. Also learned too that when our military fought with was it Philippines or Vietnam? I think it was Vietnam. Did we ever fight with the Philippines? I don't know. Anyway, it was Vietnam. Yeah. When our military fought with Vietnam, there were 12 men out in the jungles of Vietnamese, wherever it was, Vietnam. And it was late at night, and they were outnumbered by the Vietnamese military 2-1. I believe it was 24 of them. And they could see in the dark and everything. They could see that they were outnumbered. Maybe they had some type of thing that could see heat up, your body has the body heat, and so maybe they saw that those bodies, that they were outnumbered 2-1. So they had sent back word to, I guess, the main office or wherever the main setup was, and let them know that they were outnumbered. There was 24 Vietnamese military men in the jungles that was approaching them. So what they brought was a helicopter brought something in a cage, and they let it loose. It was in a cage. They let it loose. They opened the cage, and it went out. And it was a creature. And the military man said all he could hear was yelling, screaming, gun going off, just guns going off, just yelling and screaming and till he couldn't hear no more. And that creature, once he was finished killing all those Vietnam soldiers, it came back and went into the cage. They closed the cage up. The helicopter came back and took the cage away. When he asked, what was that in the cage, and he was told, it's our secret weapon. So imagine, how long was the Vietnam War? How long was that? Was it in the 60s or was it in the 70s? I don't remember. I would have to look it up on Google. I didn't get a chance to look it up, but you guys can look it up. How long was that? And our military has had this that long ago. So those creatures are all in the woods. They are, and they are growing. They are growing. Also, someone went to Catalina Island. It's his testimony that he thinks he saw a Bigfoot. But I know it wasn't a Bigfoot. And then even the man that read his testimony, because they type it in, they send it into him. Even the man that read his testimony said, I do not think this was a Bigfoot. I think this was a dog man. And I think it was a dog man too, because the sounds that he was saying that it was making is not what a Bigfoot would make. Bigfoot knocks on trees. They throw rocks. They throw acorns. They can make this growling noise or whatever, or they do like I think ticking noise, but they usually knock on trees and stuff like that. I don't believe that was a Bigfoot he saw. He really did not get a good look at it. He said it was big, but I believe what he saw was either a dog man. I believe it was a dog man. That's what I believe. And that's what the man that was reading it believed also, that it was a dog man. So I was like, oh my goodness, on Catalina Island? How did a dog man get on Catalina Island? Did they fly that dog man there and let it loose? And I was like, it could be a portal there. He could have came from out of a portal there, So it was either a dog man or it was a wolf man, but it was one of them on Catalina Island. And I've been wanting to go to Catalina. I never went to Catalina Island. But when he was talking about Catalina Island, he was saying that how big it was. When you on the LA beaches, you can see Catalina Island. Especially on a nice clear day, you can see it from the LA beaches. I did not know Catalina Island was that big. I just not imagine. They were saying something about 76 miles. I'm like, is that big? Like if you was to drive your car from one end to the other one, that it was 76 miles, the island. I was like, that's pretty big. I did not know that Catalina Island was that big. But and then he was saying that it was, most of it, like 80% of the island is like jungle like, woodsy jungle, like 80% of the island. I was surprised by that too. I really was. I was like, well, that's a lot of, if the island is 76 miles across, that's a lot of jungle. And 80% of it is jungle. That's a lot. That's a lot. So when he said that, I'm like, well, I guess I'm not surprised that would be there, but I'm trying to figure out, how did the dog man get to Catalina Island? And I don't even know when. I don't remember when this happened, like what year it was. I don't know if I'm sure he had to say what year. I just don't remember catching it. What year it was that he saw this creature. He remembered. He said he was so terrified. He was so terrified. He said that he could hear like it breathing, because he got up one night while it was dark to go get some beer, and he was the only one walking out there. Like, it was shut down. Everything in there was shut down. He was the only one walking, and he said he could hear something very close to him breathing real hard. He said he was terrified. That he started praying. Because he felt like he might die. So my video is going to end soon. But yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys about the holiday dream I had and what I've been thinking of maybe Halloween being the last holiday. Why would it stop? Why would it stop calling out holidays? And to tell you guys, about these creatures, and when it goes the 3 days of darkness, these creatures are going to be roaming all around, roaming the streets, and the darkness will be alive. But they also said too, if you're in your home, keep the door locked, keep the windows locked, keep the curtains closed. You probably will hear your relatives' voices saying, open the door, let me in, this is so and so, do not open the door. They said, when they say no man will be able to walk in this darkness, no man. So if you think you hear your relatives saying, open the door, you might hear your daughter, your son, you might hear your sister, brother, mother, whoever. Do not open the door. They can mimic your relatives' voices. And your relatives will not be able to survive out there and travel. Only those creatures will. And those creatures are mimicking voices in the woods. People are saying that they're hearing family members' voices in the woods. All right, I'll talk to you guys another day.